What's up, guys? Good morning from IT Park, Cebu City, Philippines. We're in Avida Tower today. I guess some people call it Avida Tower. Uh, in the pool area, hanging out. Just finished our CrossFit. Uh, did a quick prayer. Not technically the right prayer, but I don't take breaks either. So when I take a break, I deserve it. Anyway, just some general topics today about the Philippines. If you're a foreigner or a local, you can probably relate. And the first topic that I'm going to discuss is flight scams from the airlines. Okay. A lot of people that I encounter, um, they live with a hard plan, if you will. I used to do that when I was younger. Flying out on Tuesday, it'll be like a month in advance. I would book a ticket. I got a vacation coming up. I'm going here. I'm going there. Blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? But to me, as I've gotten older, kind of the excitement and the rush is being anywhere I want to be. The wind blows too heavy in one direction, I can always roll out if I want to. I love it. I could stay if I want to. It doesn't matter. Either way, I'm cool, baby. So I guess I'll jump into it. I mean, one of the first scams you'll see is actually on the Cebu Pacific website. And what will happen is you will be booking a ticket. Everybody says, download the app, download the app. Well, guess what? We have more important apps on our phone. Okay. And I have an extremely high end phone. I don't even have room for the Cebu app, nor do I want another app on my phone. So it's slower when I make videos. It's slower when my Facebook loads. Now there's more viruses and glitches. Get an iPhone. Same problem with the iPhones, everybody. Okay. Stop it. Little iPhone fanboys everywhere. Anyway, when you go to book a ticket, you put in let's say you book a one-way ticket like your boy, okay? Let's say you book a round-trip ticket, whatever. You put in the airport you're leaving from, the departure airport, and you put in your arrival airport, right? Now, at some point through this booking process, it's highly likely that your web page will reload. It might even reload on the landing page where you just entered the airport. And if it reloads later in the system, it still might kick you back to the original landing page where you select the airports. And there almost seems to be a random variable. If you know anything about coding, there seems to be a random variable inserted in there. Like sometimes you'll reload a further page and it'll kick you all the way back. Sometimes it'll reload and refresh the same page, if it happens to you. When you do this, your destination airport will change. I've also seen Cebu autofill the departure airport. So if you're just not paying close attention, if it's late at night when you book your flight, a lot of people are booking late like myself or early or like we're in a taxi. Because I mean, let's be honest, who likes booking tickets? It's like the most annoying thing. I mean, I don't know why, because of these scams and the way the websites are built. What I'm discussing in this video, it's a terrible process. It's absolutely terrible. And for frequent travelers that have been victims of these scams, it literally makes you despise of the airlines, their executive staff, their teams of attorneys that engineer these kind of online whatever scams. So the second thing, obviously, is the baggage scam. Okay, now every airline is different. I will just focus on Philippine and Cebu Airlines for this. Philippine and Cebu Airlines. So Cebu, you have 2 hours plus to add checked bags to your flight. If you add checked bags less than 2 hours, it's impossible. You have to do it at the airport. Philippines Airlines is 4 hours. Same thing, but 4 hours. Now, people are like, well, if you know you're taking checked bags, just put them all on the website. Doesn't always work that way. You know, if I have a flight in 2 days and I end up seeing, for example, a really nice item that I want in this location and it doesn't fit in my luggage, guess what? Now I got to check bag or whatever. And oh, wait a second, I just forgot. For 3 seconds of my busy life, I forgot something, God forbid, right? And don't forget it. Well, we're busy. I forgot to add these check bags. If I get within that 2 hour window, tough. The price is going to double or triple at the airport. And in my opinion, that shouldn't be allowed. People aren't just coming to the airport because they want to stand in line with you and check their bag. They'd rather drop their check bag off at like the little speed drop area. So the defenders of the scam out there in internet land and reality, what us computer guys call meat space, it's ridiculous. I mean, because we know these airlines and these hotels are scamming big time. Philippine Airlines, on the other hand, with their 4 hour or less window, 4 hour or more window, 4 hour less, you have to check it into the airport. Philippine Airline charged by the kilo at the airport. Now, my last trip coming here to Cebu was like 65 kilos of weight. You do the math. What, $300, $400, 15 to 20K for a 50-minute flight out of Manila? That's absolutely insane. There's no reason. First off, most of the passengers don't even have checked bags. The cargo hold's probably not even 1/8 full. There's absolutely no reason to be charging that kind of money for a flight. Oh, but the ticket prices are cheaper. They have to make the money somewhere. Wrong. The ticket prices for domestic flights in the Philippines are actually approximately 10x more expensive per kilometer than anywhere else in the world. For example, if I fly 500 kilometers in the Philippines, I'll pay whatever it is, 30, 40, 50 bucks up to upwards of $100 for a same day ticket. Everywhere else in the world, if I fly just a little further, it could be 500 kilometers, could be whatever. The cost per kilometer is less 10x than it is in the Philippines. What other scams are the airlines doing? Oh, Cebu Pacific. What are you doing, Cebu? When you book a ticket on Cebu, first off, your seats are terrible. You should have never done those seats like Frontier Airlines has. I don't know what you guys are doing. When you book a ticket on Cebu, there's a page that allows you to add flex options and baggage and meals and all this, whatever, man. When you get to that page, it automatically has one of the options added every single time. And I forget right now what the option is, but I believe it's like a flexi thing. You know, I'm riding solo, man. And if I got a +1, +2, whatever, if you guys miss your flight, that's on you, dude. So, and then there's going to be, you're going to have to deal with me. So I know you're not going to miss your flight. So I don't want the flexi unless I'm flying in a total stranger, and for an extra $10 or $20, I can get Cebu travel credit now. Oh, great. Yeah. Now I'm stuck on Cebu. Thanks, guys. Anyway, this flexi option, whatever it is that's auto-selected, it's also very difficult to delete. The 3 buttons on the top right of the box are very obscure, and then you have to like click it and click like, are you sure? Like, am I sure? Get that off my page. What do you mean, am I sure? Asking me 20 questions. I'm trying to get the ticket done. There was one other thing with Cebu Pacific that really should be criminal, but I miss it right now. So I guess next I'm going to get into smoking and vaping in the Philippines. Well, first off, let's just say it's a damn shame, any smokers that watch this, that you can't even smoke anywhere on the frickin' planet anymore. I mean, this has gotten so ridiculous that, aren't we free people? Yes or no? You can't smoke anywhere. You can't smoke outside a hotel. You got to walk out to the street with the street people. Can't smoke on the roof. Nobody's even up there. I don't know why. It goes straight into the sky. Can't smoke in your hotel room. Definitely not. That's been around for however long. Now I'm just strictly talking about cigarettes or alternatives to cigarettes. And a cigarette, of course, actually has scientific data for however long. What's it been? 2 decades, or excuse me, 20, 40, 60 years of hard data that backs up that secondhand smoke is bad for you. And also, it's extremely unpleasant. You ever sit around a cigarette smoker or a cigar smoker, dude, it's like, get out of my face. I don't even know how you guys have a girlfriend, okay? Nobody wants to kiss you or hang out with you. You smell like an ashtray. Now, what's happened is these signs say no smoking. And then you get a smart guy like me that says, well, I'm not smoking. I'm vaping. It's not smoke. It's a vapor cloud. It's totally different. And the secondhand smoke data for vaping is shoddy and sporadic and all over the place at best. So now, because of us smart guys that bought ourselves some time so we didn't get the long arm of the stiffs and the losers on our back that are so anti everything, and they also love to follow the rules. Ugh. Petty rules, you know what I mean? Like, don't dip your big toe in the water type of rule. Now they're making signs like literally overnight. It seems like these signs came out of nowhere that say no smoking and no vaping. Really? Even in an open air facility like the one you see behind me or the ones you see me in before? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Plenty of people go to the casino and plenty of people smoke in the casino and plenty of people don't like smoking in the casino. Plenty of people go to the beach. You don't hear people crying about a guy smoking a cigarette or a vape. So honestly, I think that the vaping, especially the vaping, and nobody really likes cigarette smoke, but I think this anti-vaping campaign has gotten so out of control, and I believe that most people really don't care. Like, when I'm out, I vape, man. If you're gonna have to take my vape to really try to stop me. So I think the day-to-day average citizen doesn't care. But these guards and these staff members and whatever have to follow the rules, because if they find out that they don't follow the rules, you're going to lose your job. And it's led to this whole anti-vaping campaign or whatever. I know in Makati, in Metro Manila, it's a 10,000 peso penalty if you get hit with a vape. These people literally ride around on motorbike outside. If you get caught outside vaping in the middle of the street, these people, that the city ordinance, I guess, overrides Philippine national law because we're technically allowed to vape, and according to Philippine law, I don't know, 10,000 pesos for a vape, that's almost $200. And not only that, you guys have an army of people with expensive motorbikes, 2 people you're paying to ride on the motorbike in one of the poorest countries on the planet to go around and enforce vaping. Not only is that if it's a revenue scam, which it surely seems like, that's a terrible revenue scam, because anybody with half a brain is just going to throw their vape, take off running, or tell you to kick rocks. And not only that, you're not going to see the rest of the people, and the 1 or 2 that you do see, what'd you make? You got busted 1 or 2 people a week. Like, it's insane. Also, with all the problems that go on in this country in terms of prostitution and drugs and crime, like, when you watch these YouTube videos, guys, with other people, they say, oh, I love this girl. The country's so great. And it is. It's absolutely great. The positive absolutely outweigh the negatives. But let's agree to make it make sense here. Make it make sense. You have multiple districts, red light districts running around where people are selling their bodies, doing drugs, engaging in all kinds. Guys are going out drugging sweet, innocent girls at night that went to a nightclub for their first time with no repercussions for the guys, whatever's going on. And there's no consequence. In fact, there's actually law enforcement officers in these areas, like making sure things are protected and safe and this and that. Not to mention the fact the viral outbreaks that occur in these areas from international travelers flying in and doing their thing and leaving. and the resources of the government and the national government and the local municipalities is invested in motorbikes and two people two people to ride around on them and to pass all these laws and votes, and everybody's got to meet to make these laws against vaping or against whatever the other law is. And this is going to be everywhere, these crazy laws. Everything's about to switch up. Let me just touch on that for a minute. We've been waiting on this for about 10 years, but everything's about to switch up where now the laws and ordinances and all this stuff, they're actually trying to engineer criminals out of people. And it might not be a hard charge on your file, on your jacket or whatever you want to call it, but it will be a stiff financial penalty. And if you don't pay for some, it could be something as petty as not wearing shoes outside. It could be something as petty as talking over a certain decibel level. This is the reality of the future that we're going to live in, and it's slowly being ushered in to minimize the fallout among citizens and the rebellion, if you will. Because when stuff like that starts to get implemented, people will get very mad. So I guess the point of all that is to say this, in a perfect world, governments and local municipalities would focus their resources on what actually matters, ensuring STDs aren't spread in red light districts in your country, stopping the flood of drugs into these countries, educating people against drugs, safe sex practices, when it's right and wrong, in a good way to get pregnant and not pregnant, things like this. What are we doing here enforcing a guy with a vape on the street or 10 guys? I mean, it's ridiculous. The next and final point I wanted to touch on for this one is Cebu versus Manila. It would actually be Cebu over Manila. And foreigners in Manila versus Cebu, and especially IT Park, because you got all kinds of people. So there are definitely a lot of foreigners that are similar in each place, and blah 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 blah. For everybody that doesn't want to, understand the points that I'm trying to make and want to pop off in a week in the comments and talk about how they met a great guy in Manila, or you're wrong. There's good people everywhere. There are. We get it. Okay. Point is this, though, is that the majority, and I know plenty of good guys in Manila, Americans, Canadians, Indians, whatever. But the point is this, the jury is out on this thing. Most of the foreigners that are like lost or into an insane amount of sexual activity with strangers, they are in Manila. These are people that, for the most part, like I said, I know plenty of affluent, smart, sharp men and women in Manila. So shout out to you guys. You know who you are. What's up, Teddy? And the gang, huh? And shout out to Nick too. Yep. Anyway, but I think I know it's actually a unanimous vote that the quality of foreigner typically in Manila is a lower quality if given a average sample size of say 1,000 or 100, whatever, than you would find in Cebu and specifically IT Park. I think that the crux of this lies into where the money has flown, or where the money has landed, I should say. The only real money that's in this country right now is tech. That's it, IT. Everything else is a waste of time, and they're not getting paid like these guys. These tech companies are making so much money, and they choose to settle on this city in this particular location for whatever reason or reasons. And with that comes an enhanced level of a functioning community both locally, and locally meaning like within a few city blocks or whatever, and on the outskirts of that community within the next few city blocks, and the next few city, and the next few city blocks. What it seems like to me is that Cebu has become almost the unofficial capital of this country. The money's here, both domestic and foreign, at a personal level, meaning, affluent Filipinos and stuff. They don't want to be in Manila. Dude, you can't even go out till 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night in Manila without sitting in traffic for 2 hours. A 10-minute drive takes you 2 hours to get there. One example of many. So also on a commercial level, if you will, a business level, the businesses are settling here, specifically IT. And with that creates jobs, it creates more businesses, sub-businesses to serve these businesses. For example, just in this IT park, there's probably 50 to 100 laundromats. Those Filipino families that run those laundromats, they probably didn't have a laundromat before. Maybe they did, I don't know. But the point is that business was created and generated because of the money from the IT industry. That business has to be there to serve a need. For the demand, people need their laundry done. Could be a barber shop. There's like 4 barber shops at the bottom of this tower. Just one tower. Why? Because it's a business that's been created to fill a need because a larger business, the IT businesses, chose to settle here. It's very simple. If the number one supplier of money and jobs does not choose to settle in your country or your geographic location of your country, guess what? The clock's ticking, and at the end of the day, in probably about 20 years, and the whole time you're wondering why you're broke, why you're poor, why you're miserable every day, waking up at 11 o'clock, and that's your answer right there. Because you're not following the success, you're not following the money, you're not following your goals and dreams, and it doesn't always come down to those things. But with those things, you're going to meet better people that operate on a different level. You're going to achieve your goals. You're going to follow the path that you have in your own mind. And ultimately, that's going to be your happiness, walking down that path. There's no end to that path, but walking down that path every day is the happiness. Me personally, every foreigner that I've met here so far in IT Park is highly affluent, highly educated. And if they're not educated, if they didn't graduate college, they are highly intelligent and well book read, book smart, and they're also street smart. Some of the ones, not all of them, probably about only 10% or 20%. Well, that was crazy. My phone ran out of storage mid-video. I ran out of storage in 3 days. What? So probably about 10%, no more than 20% of the foreigners that I've met on the outskirts of Cebu, or a distance away from IT Park, if you will, are what we would classify as a scumbag in the foreign community. And the other 80-90%, I mean, they're stand-up guys. They're the kind of guy that would be the guy of every girl's dreams. I just can't say the same about Manila, man. I mean, it's just not like that. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 10 years that I'm here. Just the vibe, the energy in this part of Cebu. Cars are new, cars are fresh, cars are clean. It's almost like living in the United States, except 100 times better because you're actually in the Philippines. If you are watching this and you're somebody in the United States, that's the other thing too. In this area, there's a lot of Americans, like handsome, reputable, extremely successful, highly intelligent Americans, and it's so cool to see. And if you're an American or a foreigner watching this and you're coming to the Philippines for the first time, whatever you do, spend the extra 50, $100 and just don't even go to Manila first. Because it's very likely that the rigmarole, if you will, to quote a Jewish slang term, will wear on you and you will perceive the country much differently for a longer period of time than if you just started out in Cebu. and experienced it the right way. You know, also a great thing about Cebu is it's centralized. So the flights are a little bit quicker, 10 or 20 minutes quicker to most part of the Philippines. They can only get the flight time down so much because they have their circle time around the airport, which is ridiculous. In every country, you circle the airport a bunch of times before you land. I mean, just land. So anyway, that's the topics for today, guys. I think today is September 24th. We're a few days away from Q4. Exciting times. Q4, Christmas 2024 and 2025 is almost here. Shout out to Chevy.